for soon-to-be former Nortel employees. Remember, Nortel is in bankruptcy protection, and employees there on long-term disability are currently in the fight of their lives to keep their benefits. But a new bill may be their last hope. Today, a Senate committee studied something called Bill S-216, S for the Senate, which aims to protect employees on long-term disability. What's actually at stake? Let me show you the Nortel hot sheet. Nortel is a self-insured company. It filed for bankruptcy protection back in January of 2009. Now, over 400 Nortel employees on long-term disability, they will be laid off at the end of the year. Employees will lose benefits along with their jobs. Now, workers want disability income and their medical bills reimbursed until the age of 65 or until they recover. Question: are these Nortel employees being left out in the cold? Can this bill really offer the support they need? Joining me now to find out, the bill's sponsor, Senator Art Eggleton. He is in Toronto, Liberal Senator. And Jackie Bodie is one of the Nortel long-term disability employees whose job will be terminated at the end of the year. She is in snowy Calgary. Jackie Bodie and Art Eggleton, thanks for being here. Senator, let me start with you. How important is this bill right now?
These people are, as you point out, running out of time. It's the end of the year. We don't have an awful lot of time to not only get this bill through the Senate, but to get it through the House of Commons as well, so that it will take effect in time to save these people from a very desperate situation. These people, when they went on to long-term disability, had their income cut in half. Now it's going to be cut in at least half again, and more in some cases. And not only that, they'll get their medical benefits cut off. And on average, they need about $12,000 a year. These people are going to have to sell their homes. They're going to be on the street in many cases. These people are just desperately ill. These people have got cancers, they've got heart diseases, a number of things. And the employer, Nortel, would be walking free from this.
So do they need to get what's called preferred status? In other words, when
Yes.
there's a bankruptcy, just explain how that works, because some people get paid back before others. And the question is, where are these workers on long-term disability in the queue line?
Well, right now they're at the bottom of the barrel. And I'm saying that they need to be higher up. Not all the way to the top with the government and the banks necessarily, although an argument could be made to do that, but at least in the middle rank. Because Nortel has enough assets that if they're in the middle rank, they'll get enough of a preferred status that Nortel can acquit itself of its obligations, and these people will then be covered till age 65.
Let me bring in Jackie Bodie. Jackie, tell us, I want to hear what you want from Nortel, but why don't you tell our viewers a bit about your story and what's happened to you? You've been diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Yeah, I started with Nortel in Calgary in '92, and I worked there until 2005. I was diagnosed in 2003 with what they call young onset Parkinson's disease. I was 33. I went back to work for a while and then ended up going off on long-term disability in 2005, and found out in August of last year that my income was in jeopardy. I was basically looking at having to face paying bills and paying for medication and therapies and whatnot with no income. So it was quite a shock.
Just so our viewers appreciate how desperate the situation is, you're diagnosed with the onset of Parkinson's at 33. I understand you've got 2 children who are young.
Yes, I've got two boys. Yes.
You've got
6 and 7.
And what kind of medical bills are you required to pay? And some might ask, doesn't someone like Jackie have medical insurance?
Well, when I started with Nortel, the first question I asked the HR department was, with this long-term disability coverage that they're offering, am I covered till age 65, or what are the conditions? And was it for life or what? And they told me I was covered till age 65, till I went back to work, or until I died. So I didn't look for coverage elsewhere, because I assumed I was then covered. And so yeah, it was quite a shock. Last year, my medical expenses related to my illness total around $17,000. That, just a small portion of that is actually medication for myself. Everybody with Parkinson's is different. No two people are really present the same type of symptoms. For myself, my drug plan with Nortel only covered about 25% of my expenses. The remaining 75% I paid for out of my disability income, which I'm about to lose in 6 weeks. So yeah, I'm a little worried.
You can lose this in 6 weeks. And before I bring the senator back in, what do you hope the government does right now?
What I would ask the government to do is to take a position, do the right thing, and pass Bill 216. It is the right thing to do. By doing nothing, by leaving us hanging, in my opinion, they're effectively giving their blessing to the court judge and the lawyers that we're dealing with to bury us alive. And I don't understand why. I don't understand what myself and 400 other sick people did wrong that we deserve to be treated like this.
Senator, when you hear this story, and Jackie, as you said, one of 400 people, what's stopping the government here? Where does this bill stand?
Well, the government won't give an answer as to its position. It's not definitive at all. Some of its members are picky, asking little picky questions or little picky comments, but there is no definitive position put forward by the government. I put this bill into the Senate in March of this year. It got second reading by June 17th. It was off to committee. Finally got its first committee hearing yesterday and today. And a government member in the committee today moved that it be adjourned till next week, which puts the time squeeze on even tighter. We need to have a definitive position from the government. Is the government going to support my bill or do something else to help these people before time runs out?
Now, the question, the government has said this Nortel thing, tragic as it is, and they talk about it, is a provincial issue. You're saying that you should amend the Bankruptcy and Insolvency Act in order to protect benefits for long-term workers and long-term benefit plans. Is this a federal jurisdiction or is this a provincial jurisdiction?
Well, telecommunications industries are federally controlled to start with, but you know, you could have provinces involved. Certainly provinces and the federal government could be working together on it, but we've run out of time. They should have done this a long time ago. There's a lot of things that are done in other countries that they could have done. In fact, Canada is way behind all our major trading partners, the United States, the United Kingdom, you name it, in terms of dealing with people in this kind of condition. And most countries have the kind of provision that I'm proposing. This is a stopgap measure. It's a first step. But there's more that needs to be done, and yes, the provinces need to be part of the picture, but we've run out of time. We have to deal with this, which is before the courts now in terms of the bankruptcy proceedings.
Right. Just so folks know, places like the UK have something called the Pension Protection Fund. They passed in 2004 that would protect workers who have these long-term benefit issues. Jackie Bodie, you're listening to what's going on in here. What message? I mean, here you are. We're talking to people who are very concerned about politics here on this show. What message do you want to send to the government on this?
I'd like to send the message that that they need to get off the fence. They need to take a position. So far, what I see, this is the only bill that's been tabled that has a chance of saving us. Nobody else has tabled anything. If Bill S-216 isn't passed, then there's people in this group of 400 that have already committed suicide. There's people that have talked about it. People are desperate, and we need the government to go to bat for us. Bankruptcy court is no place for sick people. I'm 42 years old. I have Parkinson's, and I'm being forced to fight for my life in the courtroom. How am I supposed to compete against corporate lawyers and junk bond holders when I'm just me? I'm just Jackie with Parkinson's. I'm just trying to live.
There's $80 million left in the Nortel Health and Welfare Trust, Jackie. Where would you like to see that money go?
Obviously, I would like to see the money go to the disabled. There's been a lot of talk in the news about the pensioners and the fact that the pension fund is underfunded as well, but from my perspective, the disabled are worse off. I can't go out and get another job. I don't think that perhaps people realize the direness of our situation. I never expected to get sick at age 33. I expected to be able to work from age 33 to age 65 to earn a retirement savings that I haven't been able to do now. This is basically our last resort.
And of course,
Evan, just a year ago, Evan, the 7 top executives at Nortel managed to find $8 million to pay themselves bonuses and other incentives. They've got the assets. Why should they not, out of those assets, be paying this? Because if they don't, then these people are going to have to rely more upon social welfare, government assistance. Why should this be passed on to the taxpayer? It should be an obligation of Nortel. They made the promise. They put this plan in effect. People paid into it, and they can't walk away from it. I think that's very wrong.
And one last thing, Jackie Bodie, how tough is it now to get health insurance with a pre-existing condition as you have? In other words, is this the last turn that you have?
If you were an insurance company, would you insure somebody that you knew had a serious health issue? I've been turned down once already due to my condition. I can't get life insurance. I've tried two additional companies. I'm waiting to hear about what medical and dental benefits would cost me from a third company. It's impossible. And you know, I paid into disability insurance through Nortel thinking I was planning for my future. I've always been a planner. I've always tried to imagine worst case scenario, but when it boils right down to it, I could have never imagined that my employer, who 10 years ago was the darling of the TSX exchange, would morph into Canada's claim to shame. I just, you know, you just don't know what's going to happen. That's why it's called the unexpected. I planned for the unexpected. I tried to look out for myself, and I'm having the rug pulled out from under me. How am I supposed to look after myself under those conditions? They're making it impossible for Canadians in my situation to be independent. I don't want to be a burden on the system, but they're giving me no choice.
Jackie Bodie, I appreciate you telling this story. It is a very important issue. We talk about politics here. If anyone ever doubted it has a human face, they just have to listen to your story. Jackie Bodie, Senator Art Eggleton, I appreciate both of you coming on today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll talk